Welcome everyone to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for your support of NoDQ.com. I appreciate it. Today is a celebration, 19 years since I first launched WWFWCW.com back on November 8th, 1998. A few years after that, it became themayhem.com, and then in 2003, I registered the NoDQ.com domain name, and it has been NoDQ.com ever since. Kayfabe Candy Ass is in the chat room. He says, hello, ladies. Cody says, happy Rusev Day. Actually, that was Reggie that says happy Rusev Day. Yes, happy Rusev Day to everybody. But it is also NoDQ.com's anniversary. Walter says, congrats for 19 years. Brandon King says, first time being able to join live, which is really cool. I'm glad some of you can tune in and watch live for the very first time. I'm sure some of you will also watch on demand. But if you are watching live, please spread the word and share this video on social media, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, any site you go on, any message board. Any way that you can spread the word would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, let's talk about the big event coming up. We have Survivor Series 2017. Major changes to this pay-per-view. The card, in my opinion, is significantly better than it was just a week ago. Two key matches are now better, in my opinion. Of course, the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus the WWE Champion match. I think we can all agree this is a major upgrade. We now have, instead of Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal, we now have Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, champion versus champion. Should be an awesome match. You know, to be perfectly honest with you guys, and I'm sure most of you know this, I was not looking forward to Lesnar versus Mahal at all. I felt like that was going to be yet another disappointing Brock Lesnar match. But I have to say, now that it's Lesnar versus Styles, I think this has the potential to be Brock Lesnar's best match in a long time, since at least the CM Punk match at SummerSlam 2013. Maybe this match will surpass that. I actually have some high expectations for this match now. I think that AJ Styles will be able to have a great match with Brock Lesnar. And like KEKOA says, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, AJ can have a good match with anyone. And with Brock Lesnar, I think AJ will be able to bring out the best in Lesnar. Should be an awesome match. Really looking forward to that. And I have to say, after a few days to think about it, even though I was looking forward to Ambrose and Rollins against the Usos, let's face it, Usos versus Sheamus and Cesaro will still be a great match. You got friggin' Cesaro in there with the Usos, and Sheamus is great too. I think that match will be really solid, and I think that match will be perhaps just as good as Usos versus Rollins and Ambrose would have been. And my gut feeling is we are going to see the New Day versus the Shield at Survivor Series, which is cool because we will get the actual Shield reunion. Oh, Soulja says, let's get to 300 live viewers. Yes, I would love that, since we are celebrating 19 years of NoDQ.com. But that depends on you guys, word of mouth. If you know somebody who watches wrestling, have them jump in. Oh, Jishnu's here, longtime viewer. Jishnu, my first NoDQ live, hashtag finally. Durka says 400 live viewers. I would love that. Let's shoot for the stars. Let's get as far as possible. 1,000 viewers. Spread the word. I mean, that's the way it's going to happen. No, Luke, I am not going to pull a Sean's View Entertainment. That is not going to happen. Brother Nero says, is Jey Uso injured? I have not heard anything about that, so maybe that was nothing. Maybe there was nothing to that, and he's okay. I have not heard anything about him being injured at this time. So yeah, let's talk about, oh, we have Top 10 Wrestling here. What up, Aaron? How's it going, Top 10 Wrestling? He's got a check mark. I'm still not verified, so what's the deal here? Anyways, let's talk about the Survivor Series elimination match, which is awesome. It's very star-studded. One of the most star-studded Survivor Series matches that WWE has ever done. I'm really intrigued about this. Oh, Michael Wayne says John Cena is 4-0 in Survivor Series elimination matches. So yeah, the big news that broke today, Shane McMahon announced it on Twitter. John Cena is going to be the 5th and final member of Team SmackDown. So we have Shane McMahon, we have Bobby Roode, we have John Cena. This is a star-studded lineup for SmackDown Live. We have Randy Orton, and somebody in here said that Randy Orton and John Cena on the same team almost guarantees a SmackDown win. But look at Raw. Raw definitely has a loaded lineup. We have Kurt Angle as the team captain, which is really interesting. So we might get to see Kurt Angle versus John Cena. We'll get to see Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode. We'll get to see Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. Lots of potential and interesting developments in this match. It's going to be really fun to watch. And let's not forget we have Braun Strowman on Team Raw. We also have Samoa Joe on Team Raw. And Nakamura is on Team SmackDown. So many... WWE can do so many teases. We can get so many different matchups in one match. It's a really compelling Survivor Series elimination match. And then, of course, we have Jason Jordan. So that's like the one, But maybe, you know, people are talking about how will this match end. Maybe we will see Jason Jordan turn heel on Kurt Angle, and that will be how Raw loses the match. I think that might be the best way to book this, to have Jason Jordan turn heel. I really think it should happen. Jordan is going nowhere as a babyface. And Kirk says maybe Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will cost SmackDown. That's another possibility because at this time, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have no role. So maybe both will happen. Maybe that will lead to some of the eliminations, because with this elimination match, you have so many big names, and you have to wonder how is this going to be booked to protect all these top stars. So I'm guessing there will be some interference, perhaps on both sides. We'll have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens perhaps cost some of the SmackDown guys, and then we'll have perhaps Jason Jordan turn heel, and that will ultimately cost Raw the match, or maybe Owens and Zayn will ultimately cost SmackDown. So there's a lot of possibilities. Oh, and Eduardo says Kane. Kane does not have a match, so I could see Kane possibly costing Braun. I could definitely see some shenanigans in this match with outside interference on both sides, and that will cause some of the eliminations. Oh, we can also see Cena versus Strowman, although I think we saw that on Raw a couple of months ago. But it's really interesting. Oh, Seth says, hashtag give Aaron Rift a check mark. Yeah, where's my check mark? I've only been doing this on YouTube, what, 10 plus years now? Still no check mark? Whatever. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Chris says Undertaker appearance at Survivor Series ? That I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it's necessary. You have such a star-studded lineup here. You don't need Undertaker. There's no reason for Undertaker to be here, really. Save him for the big 25th anniversary of Raw. Chase Games says, how's it going, Aaron? Going good. Happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in live. Let's talk about the women's match, which right now is Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. Next week on SmackDown, we are going to see Charlotte challenge Natalya. I think that it's a stronger match to do Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. I think that would be a more compelling match rather than the heel versus heel. KPRULZZ says, did Jinder Mahal fail a WWE wellness policy? I have no idea about that. If he did, I'm sure something will come out fairly soon. I've heard a lot of talk about him being injured, but also there's been the talk that WWE wanted to do a better match for Survivor Series. I think people in WWE realized that Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal is not really cutting it. Jinder Mahal in general as champion is not cutting it. Walter Cruz says, when are you giving out the t-shirt? Already announced that. Check out Twitter. Somebody already won that. Oh, Husky Love Machine just sent $10 in the super chat. Thank you very much, Husky Love Machine. Husky Love Machine, just because, my dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And here I go with the shilling for the super chat. The fact that you guys are doing the super chat donations, I guess I'm going to be doing even more live videos now. This might become a daily thing here if you guys keep doing that. I don't know if Jinder Mahal failed a wellness policy. Time will tell if something comes out about that. We all can speculate on that. But I think it's more likely that WWE just wanted to make Survivor Series more compelling, and I think people figured it out in WWE that it's a stronger match to do Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. I could see Mahal winning it back in India. You know, I think that is a fairly safe prediction, unless, of course, he did fail a wellness policy, and in that case, I don't think he's going to be getting the title back. But if Mahal's just hurt, or if WWE decided to just change up Survivor Series, I could see Mahal winning it back in India, going for the title. Now, I believe Mahal was advertised to face Kevin Owens for the WWE title in India, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Soldier says, check out what Jinder posted on Instagram. What did he post on Instagram? I have not seen that yet, but I will definitely check that out in a moment here. John Crowder says, happy anniversary, and left the birthday cakes. Thank you for that, John. Much appreciated. Comment here from Stinky Toffee 12. I like that username. AJ Styles is not booked to be on the India tour. Well, keep in mind that card is subject to change, and I don't think this was a long-term plan. You know, clearly something changed either on Wednesday or Thursday of last week, because on Tuesday, last week's SmackDown, AJ Styles was announced on television to face Rusev for the final spot at Survivor Series, and AJ was originally booked for that match. WWE made a graphic for it. So something changed. Either Wednesday or Thursday, something backstage in WWE changed, and WWE decided to go in a different direction. John Cena was originally supposed to be the referee for Lesnar versus Mahal, and my feeling is that was done to set up a future Cena versus Mahal match. So WWE could still go with that. John Cena versus Jinder Mahal. Mahal could win the title back in India and then stay champion until WrestleMania. Would not surprise me to see that happen. KP Rules says, I'm from India and I hate Jinder. So there you go. TJS, our moderator, says, is Rusev buried? He's not buried because every day is Rusev Day. It sucks he doesn't have a spot on the pay-per-view. I'm a little upset about that. You know, I'm really enjoying the Rusev Day gimmick right now. And him and Aiden English, I love that tag team. I find it to be very entertaining. I love how somebody on Twitter took advantage of the new 280 character Twitter limit and said, it's Rusev Day, and just dragged it out for the full 280 characters. Best usage of the new 280 character limit on Twitter so far, in my humble opinion. And people wondering what's going on with Paige. Oh, what's the breaking news? The breaking news is John Cena is now on Team Raw. But anyways, regarding Paige, somebody asked, Cooksy97 said, should Paige be a heel or a face? Depends on who she's feuding with. I think maybe it would be best for her to be a face at first, because she'll be coming back and, you know, she'll be getting the baby face pop for coming back, as most people do when they return. So I think she should initially be a face, but then you could always turn her heel. I think she works better as a face. Yeah, she could be a heel if WWE wanted to play up on all of her drama, but I think WWE doesn't really want to bring that up and bring up Alberto El Patron and really draw attention to that. So my gut feeling is she's not going to be a heel if she comes back. And right now, I don't know. People are asking me about the Ric Flair 30 for 30. I have not watched it yet, but I do plan to watch it later on today when I get the chance. From what I've heard, it was excellent. People said it was really well done. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I will try to check that out and maybe on a future NoDQ video. D-Gen says, are you paying too much for your car insurance? Nah, I think it's pretty fair. I'm not really interested in switching to Geico. I like AAA, but that's just me. Not the wrestling promotion, the actual AAA auto insurance. Trey Johnson says, will Bayley ever turn heel? I think she should. I think it would be interesting, but it's a risk. You know, turning her heel would possibly ruin her character for good, but it feels like she's lost whatever momentum she had, and maybe it would be interesting. I said before she could maybe become broken with Matt, but looks like nothing's going on with Matt Hardy either. Matt Hardy, ever since Jeff got injured, Matt's pretty much just a bit player now, which is really unfortunate. They really haven't done anything with Matt, which is unfortunate. Stinky Toffee says, I really hope Shinsuke wins the Royal Rumble and faces AJ at WrestleMania. That was one of my dream matches for WrestleMania when I did NoDQ Video 1000. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Time will tell. There's always a possibility maybe they'll do John Cena versus Jinder Mahal. But I think the real story for John Cena and Mahal is that Cena goes for a 17th world title. You guys know it's going to happen. It's inevitable. I don't think Cena is going to retire without winning the 17th title. So, you know, I think it's still a strong possibility Mahal will win back the title. Oh, Mahal said he's not injured. Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. That was something posted several weeks ago. I think the most likely reason, again, is just WWE wanted a stronger match for Survivor Series. Is New Day going to break up? I don't think they're going to break up anytime soon. I think the act has gone stale, but maybe if they go back to being heels, it could be fresh again. You know, I've heard reports about New Day. WWE wants to make them like the all-time greatest tag team in WWE, and they've already broken that record of being the longest reigning champions, surpassing Demolition. I think now the goal is for them to have the most title reigns as well, so they can say they had the longest reign and the most reigns. So I don't think they're breaking up. I think WWE, and the thing is, because there's 3 guys, if one guy gets injured, you can have the other 2 carry the load. So you can keep New Day's momentum going. You know, that's the advantage of being a 3-person team. If somebody gets hurt, you have the other 2 guys, and you can keep the team going and keep their momentum going. Would not surprise me if they stay a team for many years to come. I think they need to turn heel because I think the face act has worn out, and you know they need to go back and forth just like The Rock did. You know, The Rock was a baby face for the longest time, and then he did the heel Rock. He would go back to being a face. He'd be the corporate champion. The Rock went back and forth, and I think the New Day can definitely go back and forth between being baby faces and heels, just like Chris Jericho too. Jericho's another perfect example. Jericho can go back and forth. Mohammed says, I think WWE finally listens to us. Yeah, I mean, this is one case where the fans were very vocal about not wanting to see Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal, and WWE made the change. Huge upgrade, in my opinion, and I think, again, most of you will agree on that this is a major upgrade for the WWE Survivor Series pay-per-view. I think this might be blasphemy for some of you, but I think Survivor Series is a stronger card now than NXT. I felt NXT was the stronger show a month ago when War Games was announced, but now I'm looking forward to Survivor Series more than NXT. That's just the way it is. Some of you out there, you're big NXT fans, you're big pure wrestling fans, but you know, I'm looking forward to War Games. I think it's going to be an awesome match, and NXT is almost always guaranteed to be a good show. But Survivor Series, I think WWE really stepped it up by making these card changes, and I'm very intrigued by what's going to happen. I just think the one thing I think WWE needs at this point, I think they need something on the line in that Raw versus SmackDown men's elimination match. Something significant where the winning brand really gets something major. And I guess the one criticism about John Cena being in the match is, you know, he's been going back and forth. He's a free agent. So it's really weird that all of a sudden he's on Team SmackDown when he was just on Raw a couple months ago. So that's the only negative to it. But overall, I think it's a positive. Definitely, it adds a lot of intrigue to the match coming up. Will Lillian Garcia go into the Hall of Fame? Okay, so general rule for you guys in the chat room. If somebody asks, will blank go into the WWE Hall of Fame? The answer is, if Coco can go in, Coco Beware, anybody can go in. So you guys can answer that for me in regards to will Lillian Garcia. The answer is yes. I mean, I think it's pretty much guaranteed 100%. Unless, oh, Justin says, will Aaron ever answer my tweet? Well, I'm answering your chat message right now, so thank you for tuning in, Justin. Much appreciated. No, Nathan Jones is not returning. Nathan a noob. No, I'm not going to talk about GFW Impact, NoDQ Soldier. Rusev and English for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Yes, 100%. I totally agree with that. Shaddy Snake says, is Pete Dunne on the main roster for good or no? I'm not sure. That might have been a one-off for now. He is scheduled for NXT TakeOver, but he's going to be in a dark match against Johnny Gargano. I guess the idea is WWE is going to try and boost up ticket sales for the NXT TakeOver show, which is going head-to-head with Ring of Honor. And I think WWE decided to add a big match just for the live crowd to boost up the ticket sales. My feeling is Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano, that match at NXT TakeOver, that will be aired on WWE at some point. WWE will release that match. They'll record it. They'll film it, whatever. It'll be up there. Billy says, not a fan of Aiden English. Wow, Billy. You are now on my bad side, my friend. Aiden English is one of the most entertaining things about SmackDown Live right now. And I like him better than Elias, quite frankly. I just think the singing gimmick is more entertaining than Elias doing Rock Concert 2.0. That's just my opinion. You guys know that if you've been watching the videos. And by the way, thank you to everyone tuning in live. BBG says can't stand his voice. He has a beautiful voice. Aiden English has the most wonderful voice. His voice is like, I'm not even sure what to say. His voice is just, it is magnificent. What can I say? Aiden English, it's music to my ears every time his voice, it's very enchanting. I think that's the phrase I was looking for. Aiden English is actually good, no lie. Yes, that's what I was looking for. John Mobb says Aiden has the voice of an angel. There you go. You guys are helping me out here. Yes, Cooksy97 says, should Aiden English sing the American anthem at WrestleMania? I would love that. I think that's a great idea. I think that's fantastic. Instead of doing the boring celebrity sings the national anthem, let's have some humor and make it fun. Have Aiden English sing the national anthem at WrestleMania. I would love that. And just let him play it straight. Let him just sing and the crowd can boo him if they want. Just let him do that. I think that would be awesome. I'd rather that than one of those random celebrities. Who did it last year? I forgot now. Yeah, I just totally blanked out. I'm not sure who did the national anthem. That would be a good NoDQ trivia question, actually. Who did the national anthem this year at WrestleMania 33? Because I already forgot. Maybe one of you guys in the chat room. I need to test some of you in the chat room, see who really knows their wrestling trivia, see if we can find some good challengers for Wrestling Trivia Challenge. Seems like none of you know. Oh, Brian. Brian just sent a $10 donation on Super Chat. Thank you very much, Brandon. He says, let's get to 1 trillion live views. Thank you, Brian. You are awesome. I appreciate it very much. No, it was not Beyonce, Nicholas. Nice try. I'm not that dumb. I'm not as dumb as I look, as Psycho Sid might say. I'm not sure if Psycho Sid said that, but something along those lines. It wasn't Kid Rock. Oh, it was Tina She, or whatever her name was. I should remember that because Rift Aronson was very critical about that. And thank you all for tuning in live. Thank you, Cindy. That was Cindy who left that comment. She was on the NoDQ panel a couple months back. Chris Mace just left a Super Chat donation. Thank you, Chris Mace. Much appreciated. When will it be Aiden English Day? It should be, every day should be Rusev and English Day, in my opinion. I love that team. They definitely need a big push. SmackDown Live's pretty hot with the tag teams right now. You got the Usos. The Usos have been great. funny, I'm actually talking a lot of positive about WWE right now. You know, people often rip into me saying I'm too negative, I complain all the time. But right now, I think WWE is entertaining heading into Survivor Series. I love English and Rusev. I love the Usos. Oh, here's a good idea from Converse Craig. The brand's winner at Survivor Series gets the number 30 spot for the Royal Rumble match. I like that. That's a good one. We need stuff like that. We need something on the line so the winning brand has an incentive to win, and it's not just for bragging rights. That's a very good idea. I like it. Lord Doja says, is Jay injured? Like I said earlier, I haven't heard anything about him being injured, so it might have just been a fluke thing. And apparently, Billy says you're not negative, you're just honest. Thank you for that. I think the thing with Jay might be like Sin Cara. There was concern that Sin Cara was injured, but he's going to be on SmackDown next week. So apparently he's okay, despite the injury looking pretty nasty, if you guys saw the photo on NoDQ.com. Kayfabe Candy S says, positive, turn in your IWC card. That's right. So if anybody out there, if you see something on Twitter where somebody says NoDQ.com is too negative, have them watch this video, because I've been pretty darn positive about this. Ali says, create another category in the NoDQ Awards for Worst Pay-Per-View of the Year. I thought we do have one already. I think there is one. I should know this. You know, it's my awards for NoDQ.com. Survivor Series needs Luther Reigns. No. No promotion in the world needs Luther Reigns, and I'll just leave it at that. What was the beef with David Payne about? You'd have to ask him directly, but you know, that's water under the bridge. You know, everybody's cool now. Virtue and Payne are cool now. We had a little bit of real heat, not a storyline. I know some of you know we've done storylines on NoDQ.com in the past, but there was some issues. Water under the bridge. We got it all cleared up. Everything's good now. Giant Mob says Luther Reigns sucks. Absolutely, very much does. I'm even surprised he had a job in WWE, to be quite honest with you. Another guy I was surprised was Aaron Aguilera. I mean, that guy sucked too. 2004 was not a good year in terms of SmackDown's talent roster. Let's just put it that way. You had a lot of subpar guys there like Luther Reigns and Aaron Aguilera. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of 2004 SmackDown. And of course, JBL is champion. We have a troll in here. We have Nathan the Noob saying Nathan Jones was good. So watch out. We do have a few trolls in this chat room. Yeah, Aaron Aguilera was Carlito's bodyguard Jesus, and he was literally there for a cup of coffee. I think he had like one pay-per-view match with John Cena, and then he was gone. Vince Out of Touch McMahon says, why was Kevin Fertig always booked badly? I don't think he was all that good, but I think in 2007, 2008, WWE had an opportunity with him. You know, you had Twilight, which was becoming a big deal. You had this Vampire Craze, what am I, Elmer Fudd now? Vampire Craze, and WWE should have capitalized on that. Vampires were hip in culture and society, and I think he did have a point, Kevin Fertig did, that they should have done something with that character. No, I don't think Jesus is returning to stab Cena at Survivor Series. Cooksy97 says your thoughts on Eugene. Eugene, I was entertained by Eugene, even though I know Jeff Meacham was never a big fan of his. I liked the character. I thought it was unique, but you know, some people saw it as WWE being insensitive, making fun of handicapped people. In a way, I liked it though. In a way, I felt it was a good thing because it was telling a positive story that anybody can make it in WWE despite a physical or mental handicapped. Somebody can succeed and realize their dreams. So in a way, it was like inspiring that Eugene was successful, just like Zach Gowen. They did cut Zach Gowen after like a year though, but it was cool that Gowen got that chance to be on WWE television. So in some ways, I thought it was a positive, and I liked the Eugene character. I don't think it was making fun of mentally handicapped people. I think it was embracing it in a way, and you know, being motivative to people. I liked it, and of course, Eugene was responsible for that great musical chairs segment if you guys have not seen it or forgot about it, that was a great Raw segment. The musical chairs with Jericho and Tomko and Ric Flair dancing around doing the musical chairs. That was an awesome segment. I mean, that might have been the best Raw segment of that entire year. Great segment there. Is Chris Jericho allowed to work with Kenny Omega? Well, you have to keep in mind, Jericho is not working with WWE right now, so he can do whatever he wants. He's not contractually obligated to WWE. He can do the match with Omega, whether WWE likes it or not. And what do I think about it? I think it's good for Jericho. He's trying to build a working relationship with New Japan and Ring of Honor. So it's something he hasn't done. You know, Jericho wants to keep himself fresh. He doesn't want to do the same thing over and over again. And getting a chance to go back to Japan. He hasn't been in Japan. He hasn't done a match outside of WWE since, I believe, '99. So this is something different for him. And I think that Jericho just wants to keep his act fresh and do different things. And this is an opportunity to do something awesome. Nicholas, what are your thoughts on Dave Meltzer and his New Japan Pro Wrestling bias? You know what? Dave Meltzer likes wrestling outside of WWE. He likes different promotions. And, you know, he's never been, like, the biggest fan of WWE Sports Entertainment, at least how I've seen it. I know, like, Meltzer and his readership, his viewers, his readers, whatever, they were always pretty negative on WWE. If you look back at the Wrestling Observer Awards from, like, the late 80s, they were always critical of WWE. Hulk Hogan was voted the reader's least favorite wrestler. Ric Flair, the reader's favorite wrestler. So I think in general, Meltzer and his audience tend to like more of the pure wrestling. And in my case, I'm like the opposite. I like sports entertainment. I like WWE. I think 1989 WWE was great. I love The Ultimate Warrior. I love all the gimmicks and characters. And I really don't care about work rate as much as you know, other people out there that like the pure wrestling and that kind of thing. Oh, James just left another super chat donation, which I could afford to send more. You know what? That's more than enough, James. I really appreciate it. You know, any amount is awesome. It just shows you're very supportive of the channel and the videos, and I really do appreciate it. Roy says, who will be the final member of the Raw women's team? My gut feeling is it's going to be Bayley. Apparently Bayley was not officially announced, despite the report that I had. Oh, Chris Mace just left another $1. Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated. Psycho Izzy says, congrats on 19 years. Been a website supporter for 10 years. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I think it's going to be Bayley as the last member. I made a mistake. Actually, I got information from somebody that both Bayley and Sasha were added to the match, but it was only Sasha. Bayley's what makes sense unless Paige returns. Chris Mace says, sorry, couldn't afford more than that. No worries, Chris. Any amount means a lot to me. Shows your support. It's very much appreciated. Thank you, Chris, and thank you to everyone else out there and just watching in general. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in and checking out the video today. Walter says, I'm back. Did you give a name to Rusev and English's team? I do not have a name for the tag team. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. What do you think? Do you think Rusev and Aiden English should have an official tag team name? Let me know what you think about that. Leave a comment. We'll see if you guys can come up with some good ideas. I'm fine with Rusev and Aiden English. I don't really think they need a team name, but if you guys can come up with something, maybe they could be Rusev Day. They could just be called Rusev Day. Speaking of which, happy Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day. Yes, it is. You know, New Day versus Rusev Day. The Singing Brutes. That's another idea. Sarat says Rusev should be booked the same as Samoa Joe. Well, you know what? They've already done that, and you know, at least Rusev still has something entertaining to do, and he's still got a role on the show. You know, he had his big run, and I knew this was coming eventually, where he was going to be phased down and pushed more as a comedy character. But it's very entertaining. At the end of the day, what's important is people are entertained, and I think the Rusev and English pairing is very entertaining. They got chemistry together. I like it. I definitely think we need to see more of it in the coming weeks. Cindy asks, do you think Carmella will cash in her Money in the Bank contract during the women's match? I've heard a lot of interesting scenarios here. People have been talking about maybe Carmella swerves everybody and cashes in on Alexa. I don't think that's going to happen. It really wouldn't make sense, although there's been no real official ruling about this. You know, there's been nothing on WWE television, to my knowledge, where somebody said that Carmella could not cash in on somebody from Monday Night Raw. I guess it would be an interesting swerve. What do you guys think? Would you like to see her cash in? Holy cow. Belle just left a $20 super chat donation. Thank you very much. I mean, I'm really very humbled with the donations here. Very much appreciated from you guys. $20 donation from Belle. And again, any amount you guys want to send is very awesome. And also, pick up a t-shirt. Let me do the cheap. I can't even say it. T-shirt plug. There's the NoDQ.com t-shirt. You can get that at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search NoDQ.com. How did Jeff Meacham start on NoDQ.com? Okay, so this is 19-year anniversary of NoDQ.com. I will talk about Jonathan Coachman real quick. I don't think he's ever going to return full-time, Jonathan Coachman. I think he's doing his own thing. He's got the ESPN gig. Somebody should just make a montage of me botching names here. Jonathan Coachman's got his other gigs. I think every now and then he'll do something with WWE, but I don't think he'll be back in a regular position. Anyways, Jeff Meacham, he was a fan of the site back in 2001, 2002. He would send me live recaps from WWE shows in Los Angeles at Staples Center. And since he was close, you know, I was living in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, and Jeff was living in Santa Clarita, which is only about a 30-minute drive from the San Fernando Valley from where I was living. And Jeff and I talked for a bit, and back in 2002, Mike Nagel, former NoDQ personality, was starting up his own audio show on NoDQ.com. He wanted to do an audio show on NoDQ.com called Extreme Mayhem, so we started that up. And Mike was looking for a co-host, and that's when Jeff Meacham volunteered. And before you knew it, Mike and Jeff were doing the audios together. Jeff was the co-host for Extreme Mayhem. And a couple months into it, we all decided to meet in person since Jeff was only 30 minutes away. And the three of us got together and we started doing more of the audios in person, made it a little bit easier to do the audios in person. And then we decided, you know what? We've been doing these audio shows for a while, but why not do video? Since we all live together, well, not live together, but we live in the same area. We all live in the same area. Why not do some videos? And that's when we started doing Extreme Mayhem Video, which was the video series that started in 2014. And that was pre-YouTube. So we were doing video content on NoDQ.com before YouTube even existed. And that's pretty much how Jeff got involved. Just being a fan of the site, he started doing the audios with with Mike, and then we started doing the videos, and it just continued to snowball from there, got bigger and bigger. Jeff started doing talk wrestling. When Jeff left in 2011, I stepped up to the plate and started doing the videos. I was always involved with everything. So from the beginning with Extreme Mayhem, I was doing all the production, and I was basically in charge of everything behind the scenes. But in 2011, when Jeff left, I needed to get in front of the camera. I had nobody else to do the videos, so I stepped in, started doing them. That led to the first No DQ&A video back in 2011, and then it just continued to grow from there. And here we are today, 2017, doing No DQ Live. Why did Jeff leave in 2011? Just, we had a falling out. We did bury the hatchet. Things happen. It's just the way it is. People definitely can have conflict and go in different directions, and we were not able to work things out. Kayfib Candy S says, in 2012, I started putting myself over on No DQ&A video. There you go. James says, our donations are telling YouTube to take their new ad revenue system and shove it. There you go. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Who do you want to have headline the Hall of Fame coming up? I really don't have a preference. I'd like to see Owen Hart go in. You know, that's one of the big names that I would like to see go into the Hall of Fame. I think a lot of you would agree with me on that. Definitely at the top of my list is Owen Hart. But as far as the headliner, whether it's Undertaker or Batista, or who's the other guy? The Rock. The Rock is the other guy. Any one of the three of them I think would be very entertaining to headline the Hall of Fame. So, you know, I think all three of them will be headlining within the next 5 years. It's just a matter of the order. Is Undertaker in your top 10 greatest of all time? Absolutely. Undertaker is right up there. You know, my top three and my number one and number two were split between Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin. I've gone back and forth over the years. It would be between Hogan and Austin. Number three would be The Rock, and then I think Undertaker would be number four. He would be right up there, or Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's my top five right there. Hogan, Austin, Rock, Undertaker, Michaels. My top five, and then Bret Hart would be right there at probably number 6. Ric Flair would be there. If we're talking strictly WWE, Flair would be a little bit lower, but Flair would be right up there, 6 or 7, right there with Bret Hart. But yeah, I definitely want to see Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. Hogan was super humble on Flair's documentary. Yeah, Hogan and Flair, you know, Hogan knows what to say. I mean, I'm sure him and Flair are really close, but Hogan's always going to be humble and put over the other people at the right times. Hogan knows the right things to say at the right time. But at the same time, you know, I think Hogan does have a lot of gratitude towards Ric Flair, because Ric Flair made Hogan look like $1 million. Let's face it. I mean, Hogan was definitely a major star in WWE without Ric Flair's help, but one could argue Flair definitely helped Hogan maintain some longevity in WCW. Once Hogan got there, Flair put over Hogan pay-per-view after pay-per-view. First it was Bash at the Beach, and then it was Halloween Havoc, and just for years, Flair would put over Hogan in WCW. I mean, Ric Flair really was the Joker to Hulk Hogan's Batman. The two of them, you know, Hogan was the big superhero, Ric Flair was the big villain. So the two of them just worked together perfectly. They had tremendous chemistry together, and you know, very entertaining stuff. Anytime either of them got in the ring together, it was magic. Just two very entertaining personalities. Two of the best of all time. Looking at some of the other comments here. Any idea when the next panel is going to be? Hopefully very soon, and we're hoping to get Caleb, who was a Super Chat donator, on very soon. I'm hoping to get Wade Needham, a.k.a. Tommy McCardle. Some of you remember him from NoDQ CAW, the voice of NoDQ CAW. He was actually recently on one of the trivia episodes to challenge Jeff. We should be having him on for trivia very soon. Top 10 Wrestling says I'm going to put a NoDQ.com shirt on my Christmas list. Yeah, that's a great idea, you know. Put it on your Christmas list. We got the holidays coming up. Get a NoDQ.com t-shirt. Wear it at all the events. WWE should create a singing title for Aiden English, or a Rusev Day title. I mean, I think that might be going a little bit too far, but in general, I want to see more of them doing stuff. Jason Lashley says, can't believe I'm watching you live. Always watch your videos, never live though. Thank you, Jason, for tuning in. I'm glad you're enjoying this and having fun here. You know, I really enjoy doing the live videos and just reading off the comments and bouncing ideas off of everybody. Ashley Chambers says, how come you don't watch sports? I just don't. Not my personality. I never really played sports, and the whole team thing, maybe because I got picked last all the time, I don't know. I could never get into sports. You know, I'm more into movies and TV shows, and that's what takes up my spare time when I got something that I want to do besides wrestling related things. I just like to watch a movie or a TV show. Not really into sports. Never really got into that whole culture of sports, cheering for a team and that sort of thing, and wearing sports clothes. Just was never my personality. Miniature golf is a sport. Well, there you go. Yeah, I play miniature golf, if that counts as a sport. I like poker. I like Texas Hold'em poker, watching that on television. So I guess if you want to count that as a sport, you know, there's that whole debate, you know, if it's a sport or not. ESPN covers it, even though it's technically not a sport. Oh boy. Kayfabe Candy S says your best bowling score. Like 95? Pretty low. Yeah, I'm not a sports guy. I'm not good at sports, and I never really had interest in it. Nathan the Noob, have you played WWE 2K18? WWE 2K18 I have not played because it has not been released on the Switch. So once it is released on the Nintendo Switch, I will check it out. But for now, they haven't done anything in terms of announcing when it's coming out. To my knowledge, it's still fall of 2017. There's been no official word on that, which is frustrating. I'd like to play it. I'd like to potentially maybe do something with a NoDQ CAW reunion. Do you follow What Culture Pro Wrestling? No, I don't. I barely have enough time to follow WWE as it is, and watching any more wrestling would just be overkill. You know, like I said, the limited free time I have, I like to watch movies or TV shows that I enjoy. I don't want to be watching more wrestling than I need to. You know, basically, since 1998, you know, 19 years ago, NoDQ.com has been primarily a WWE site. I decided from 98 on, you know, Macaroni Tony says, what made you want to create a wrestling site? Just the general love of WWE, and this was back in 98 when wrestling was red hot. You had WWE and WCW, and I started using the internet in 1998, and I went on a website where they said you could make a free website, and I was really fascinated by that. The idea of being able to put something online that people from around the world could read. I found that to be really fascinating and interesting, and I just started doing the websites and posting pictures and trivia and polls and all sorts of odds and end things. And then eventually I registered the domain name, and things just snowballed from that point forward. When did you realize that wrestling was staged? I was always suspicious of it from the beginning. I mean, my dad never tried to pretend that it was real, like Santa Claus. He said right from the beginning when I was watching wrestling that it was entertainment, that the guys were not enemies in real life. They were just playing characters. And I pretty much accepted it as entertainment from the early part of my wrestling viewing experience. Back from the mid-'80s or so, I pretty much had it figured out that it was entertainment and not real. Oh, the cat is apparently in the video. Yes, Sassy. Somebody said Sassy showed up in the video. I have all the messages here that are blocking the view of the video, but apparently the cat made a cameo. So yes, more thumbs up for the video, the fact that the cat makes a cameo. Marshall says, have you ever wanted to be a professional wrestler? Never. I never had any interest. Like I said earlier, I really was never athletic. I always got picked last for the teams in high school. I hated PE. You know, it's funny. I hated doing any kind of exercise. I hated going to the gym. I hated being in PE. But as an adult, I pretty much exercise all the time. I run every day or almost every day. You know, sometimes I'll run 4 or 5 miles in one day. I'll go to the gym. It's when I'm not being forced to do it, I actually enjoy doing it. But in high school, I hated the idea of being forced to do things that were athletic. I didn't like going to PE. I hated gym class. Definitely was not my thing. And I never really had interest in being a wrestler. I did do backyard wrestling, though. So some of you, I'm not sure, some of you might be hearing this for the first time, but I actually did do backyard wrestling. It was very lame backyard wrestling. I mean, maybe I'll post some clips. I think there are a few clips online. I have to think about what I used for the title. Do a YouTube search for Aaron Rift Backyard Wrestling. You might find the clip. Let me try to pull it up on YouTube here, see if I can find it. Aaron's bald spot versus Baron Corbin's receding hairline. There you go. There's a match for you. How long have you been a wrestling fan? I've been a wrestling fan as long as I can remember. I mean, I pretty much grew up with it, excuse me. My dad was extremely into wrestling, so obviously I was watching it because of him. He was never into sports either, though. So, you know, a lot of what you become interested in and what you follow is based on what your parents were into. My mom was always into baseball, and she tries to get me to watch baseball, but I could never really get into baseball. Just not my thing. I tried going to a couple of Dodgers games back in 2008, 2009. Just couldn't get into it. I gave it a shot. I gave it the old college try. I did, you know, I was open-minded about it. My ex-wife was really into football, still into football, the San Francisco 49ers. I actually went to a 49ers game. So I tried to have an open mind when it came to sports, but could never get into it. And I never really had interest in doing professional wrestling. Like I said, I never really had an athletic bone in my body growing up as a kid. Yeah, so type in Aaron Rift Backyard Wrestling and you'll find a video that was posted several years ago. Basically, we were just doing crap in the bedroom, and I was like falling onto tables, glass tables, and all sorts of things like that. But we never did the really stupid stuff. We never did jumping off ladders, off rooftops. We never did the really. Our backyard wrestling overall was really lame. Again, it was more storyline oriented. There was like 4 or 5 of us, and we would alternate. We'd each have like 3 or 4 different characters. And we'd basically just do storylines where we'd come out, cut promos, have people attack. We'd have alliances formed. We really didn't do the extreme stuff. It was more storyline driven. No, I wasn't like Mick Foley. We were more about doing characters, and matches would have outside interference and run-ins and, you know, that sort of thing. Soap opera stuff. We did more of that. There were more promos than actual matches. And skits. We did a lot of skits with the backyard wrestling. So it wasn't like the stuff you see with like people jumping off the roofs or whatever, and all the extreme stuff with fire. I've seen some really extreme backyard wrestling, and that stuff is just stupid. I mean, even what we did was pretty stupid, you know, not being trained or whatever, but it was mostly horseplay. And I think only a couple of times, like maybe one of my friends got hit in the nose. Actually, I got hit in the nose once, and I think I was bleeding a little bit, but it wasn't like I had my nose broken or anything. So there were a couple of times we got hurt a little bit. It happened, but not often. Yeah, Aaron Rift, King of the Deathmatch. Yeah, not exactly. I used to hit my friends with a thin food tray like a geek. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff we did. Like, we would go to like the Dollar Tree and buy like those really thin cookie sheets and hit each other with the cookie sheets because it made a good sound. You know, it didn't really hurt, but it made that sound. You know, when you hit somebody with a cookie sheet, it makes that sound that makes it come off like it's more impactful than it actually is. So that was something that we did. Do you think John Cena will take the fall in the Survivor Series match? Actually, I think he will. You know, I will talk about this more next week. I think there's a solid chance that John Cena will not be the sole survivor, and he will actually put over somebody and be eliminated like second or third. I think Cena at this stage of the game will put over somebody. So I don't think Cena's going to be like the last man standing. And I think Orton will be the same way. Believe it or not, you know, people are saying, well, John Cena and Randy Orton are going to be the sole survivors because they're John Cena and Randy Orton. I actually think Orton and Cena are going to maybe be the first and second guys out. I think they will put over people, and we'll actually see Nakamura and Bobby Roode outlast John Cena and Randy Orton. I could be wrong, though. Maybe I'll be completely off on this, but I'm going to say Cena and Orton are the first 2 guys out. That might be a bold prediction, but I'll have more thoughts on that next week when we do the full-fledged predictions video. Wow, we've been doing this a long time. This is almost an hour now. Yeah, we have 150 viewers, so not like a peak or anything. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. At this point, you know, we're at an hour, so I think I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. The viewership and the super chat donations. I will be back in a day or so with NoDQ video. So we got that coming up. We got trivia coming up. Predictions for NXT TakeOver. A lot of content coming up. So I actually got a lot to do here. So I really can't go on with this any longer. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will be doing more NoDQ Live next week. Maybe I'll do another one midweek, early in the day, because it seems like some of you just got the opportunity to tune in for the first time. Lee said he just tuned in. Thank you, Lee, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Caleb says congrats. What email do I send? NoDQMISC@gmail.com if you're interested in being on trivia. That's the email to contact with your Skype info and your availability. Planet Kayfabe. Oh, check out Kayfabe Candy Ass's columns over on NoDQ.com. By the way, guys, be sure to leave comments. We have a comment section for every page, every article on NoDQ.com. If you comment on there, I'll try to respond to you. But your feedback is appreciated. You can comment on the news articles, on the columns. Give the writers some feedback. Kayfabe, Candy Ass, Virtue. You know, those guys put a lot of time and effort into the columns. So leave them some feedback in the comment section, and I'll try to respond to some people on there. Chris May says, when will Solo Monster get a shot at Jeff? The invitation is open to him. I have not heard anything from him, but I've publicly said I'm all for him being on the Trivia Challenge. I don't think he's interested. I haven't heard anything from him. But if he wants to be on, I'll make it happen. We'll definitely make it happen. So that'll wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys again, and I will see you guys next time.